At the end there, I guess it's a mid-credit scene, Nolan says, "I think I miss my wife."
Yeah, that's the gall to say that.
Gall.
That was
Absolute gall.
Boom.
Man.
You looking for this?
Oh my God, Mark! Cecil told us all about what happened with that psychopath. Is your mom okay? Is your mom okay?
She's okay. She's a lot stronger than she looks.
Yeah, I bet. How are you, though? How are you, though?
I don't really want to talk about it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. But you know I'm always here. But you know I'm always here for you. If you ever need a shoulder. If you ever need a shoulder, I've got two. I've got two.
Yeah. I know.
Is he gonna tell her?
you just like me for real.
There's something else I want to talk to you about.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Just like me.
It's nothing. I'm sorry. It's nothing. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Sure. Sure.
That is.
I'm sorry, Mark. I'm sorry, Mark. It's not fair. It's not fair. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve this. You don't deserve this.
At least they have a sweet one right there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Welcome back to Boomshot. I'm Colby and this is Eli, and today we are reacting to / reviewing the season finale of season 2 of Invincible. We got some thoughts about it. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen it, but let's get into it. So what'd you think, man?
Man, this is the middest episode I've ever seen. I'm just gonna say it straight to the camera. This episode, it didn't hit for me, man. I'm sorry. It's it's probably the first miss out of like the whole series for me. It's just a miss for sure, especially for like a season finale. You know, you had the episode before this was way more hype. And so I'm like, why are they ending on such a slow note? Maybe because they know it's going to be forever till we get season 3.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely liked the previous episode more. I don't want to say a lot didn't happen in this episode, but I thought more was going to happen in terms of like we never saw him in the new suit. We didn't really see what happened with Nolan. I mean, we saw a little bit of it, but really it was all focused, and it's a big plot point with him like finally crossing the line of killing.
And maybe part of that is, for me, those plot lines have never worked in any superhero like franchise. Like the whole, like, oh, I'm scared, or like I killed somebody. It's like clearly to me he had no choice in the matter.
Yeah,
know? And so it's like it's hard for me to buy into those plot lines, and so maybe because of that, most of the episode, which was on like that plot line and how emotional it was for him, it kind of fell flat. And so the rest of it, like you said, it felt like there wasn't much going on other than that.
I mean, I will say my favorite part probably was at the end with Adam Eve, or really Adam Eve in general in this episode. I thought that was interesting that we saw the Guardians. I guess it was the Guardians 20 years in the future.
Yeah.
And she is the one that tells Mark that she loves him, or she's loved him this whole time. I thought that dynamic was really good, and at the end there, like that's when I felt something the most in this episode.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, like I couldn't. Maybe it's because I can't relate to it or whatever it is, but it's like the whole internal conflict of like, oh, I killed him. Like I said, it just didn't hit. But that part did. I would agree that's where I like felt the most moved throughout the episode for sure.
Yeah, and I think some of it is also like it's the fact that he's never crossed that line before, but also he saw what his dad became.
Yeah. And
he didn't want to become his dad. That's kind of like the whole thing. And now he's scared he might be becoming his dad. And that became like his biggest fear. So I think it was a few things kind of like tied into one another. But yeah, I mean, the thing with Adam Eve probably was my favorite part. You said that was yours too?
Yeah, I mean, or I don't know if it was the favorite. It definitely was the most moving.
Yeah,
for sure. And to me, you know, just broadly speaking, I feel like it's weird that this episode had like all this interpersonal conflict. You know, like within Mark. But then the previous episode had like all the actual content, you know.
Yeah.
And it seems like they should have done it the other way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like have the personal stuff be in the pre-season finale, and then the season finale actually move the plot forward the most, you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I feel like it could have worked that way too, and I assume the comics were done this way as well, the way the series these 2 episodes went. But I could have seen them being flip-flopped, and it still made sense. I mean, even with, like, him breaking up with Amber at the end.
Yeah.
Like, if that was the emotional journey at the end of this season, I think it still would have made sense.
Yeah, I 100% agree. That, like, if they would have told us that last episode, I guess 2 episodes ago now, was the season finale, I could have believed it, you know?
Yeah.
And it would have made more sense to me.
Yeah. I guess some other positives, though, on a higher note, but... There was some meta references to DC and Marvel, which were pretty funny. I can't lie. I mean, the obvious one was Spider-Man, and what did they call him? Professor Ock?
Yeah, Prof. Ock, yeah.
I legit thought they said Doc Ock, and I was like, how are they? But I had to double take on that one. And then Batman was like literally Batman. They just didn't show him or say
Roasted
anything.
Batman, man.
Dude, for real.
Cooked him.
But the funny thing is, they had like a Batman in this in the original Guardians, didn't they?
Yeah, was it Darkwing?
Darkwing, yeah. So I don't know. I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, that was another part that I enjoyed, and really just him going through the dimensions or universes. I thought was interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And I thought it was neat to see, even like the sillier ones, like the dinosaur universe.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that was cool to see for sure.
Yeah, I feel like you can really like delve into your imagination with that, because like the dinosaurs were the ones that were shocked the human was talking, and stuff. So I thought that was interesting. I guess kind of really there was 2 other plot points I guess they went into. Is the one with like the sand tomb thing.
I kind of forgot that happened actually for a moment.
I guess that was a gag like based on like, was it season 1 or early in season 2 when we saw that body in the tomb. That was like one of the girl's dads or something.
Yeah.
And then Mark flew over it was in season 1, I think, when he was first training and caused a sandstorm and shut him in there.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing this episode on accident again. But I guess that was just really a joke that was panned out in this episode or something. I don't guess they're going anywhere with that.
I don't think so. I think it's just like a running gag that they're kind of doing.
Yeah. So, but the other thing that we saw a little bit of, I thought honestly we would see more of Alan and Nolan in this episode. We didn't see much.
Didn't see much. We got them communicating discreetly through Alan's little...
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That was sick. We got Nolan absolutely whooping some aliens.
He was, dude.
Dude, he cooked them.
He was cooking it. But I thought we would get like this being the finale, I thought we'd get a breakout scene or something.
I absolutely was hoping for a breakout scene, man. I was sitting there like, oh, come on.
Yeah. I guess this episode was meant to be like focused on pretty much only Mark. But I was, just it being the finale, I was like fully, especially when we saw them, was it towards the beginning we saw them communicating, or at least midway through, because the post-credit scene was the final part.
Yeah, I think it was midway through or somewhere around there.
I thought for sure, like, once we saw them at least communicating, they would break out in this episode.
Yeah, because, I mean, they had the firepower. They had Al.
Yeah, dude, man's a
Who
beast.
else did they need?
But yeah, at the end there, I guess it's a mid-credit scene, Nolan says, "I think I miss my wife."
Yeah, that's the gall to say that.
Gall.
That was
absolute gall, man.
I wonder how Debbie feels about that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, jeez, man. After all he put her through, like, yeah, that's a good word for it. The gall.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. It was
and that was the way the whole season ended.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe she misses him too somehow. You know? I mean, I'm sure she misses some element to him, you know?
Yeah, I think so too. And maybe, like, Oliver also could play a key role in that. You know, maybe he reminds her of Nolan in some way.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. She got put through the ringer on this mug.
Oh, yeah, dude. when he broke her arm, man, I cringed.
Oh, that was bad.
It was tough to watch.
I like how she still was, like, concerned about Oliver, though.
Yeah.
Like, she's a legend, man. Oh, we also saw Duplicate.
Yeah, Duplicate finally revealed herself. I don't know why she waited so long, bro.
Yeah. I was a little confused at first. Like, was she just waiting at Immortal's home the whole time?
Yeah, I still don't really get what happened there, but
yeah, I guess she was just
chilling.
Yeah, I don't understand that part. Like, I'm a little confused by that. Like, does she have all the memories of the other?
Yeah, I don't know how that works. Like, how does her power work?
Because, yeah, she said she's, like, been living off of the clone, which will be number 1 and onwards. So I guess, I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll explain that more in Season 3, which I'm assuming will be about a year away based on the joke in Episode 7 or Episode 7.
Yeah.
Also, probably at least one of my favorite lines in this episode is when the Guardians teleport into the future or whatever, go through the portal and meet Mark in that dimension he's stuck in. They said initially they went 20 years, like the time they teleported to present day in that realm. So that Mark we knew would have been 20 years in the future, and they said he wouldn't have liked who he became.
Yeah, that was interesting as well.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting line. I had to rewind that to understand what they were saying.
Rewind it and then get 3 more ads from Amazon Prime.
That's facts, dude. You got to be careful when you rewind on that.
Yeah, don't even pausing it now is a little risky, man.
Yeah, that's true. We saw a little bit of Rudy and Monster Girl.
Yeah.
It looks like they're mending their relationship,
which I think is good because I still feel like Monster Girl was being a bit unreasonable last time. I mean, I know she's a 7-year-old girl, so maybe that's what you should see coming. But I don't know. It's like he's just trying to help, and I feel like she should have seen that from the beginning instead of being all weird about like. Because did he go about it the wrong way? Yes, but he was trying his best, and I feel like she should have saw that part immediately instead of like this whole weird thing where she's like, "Well, first you got to learn how to help me the right way, and then I'll like you back or whatever."
I see what you mean. What would you give this episode out of 10?
I mean, it was still an enjoyable TV. Don't get me wrong. It was still like, I mean, just for a TV show that I've seen an episode of, I'd say it's like 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm in the same area.
For like the Invincible franchise though, like if you're doing a relative, it's much lower. It's like probably a 4, a little below average.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think in general I'd give it a 7, maybe probably like a 6 relative to the rest of Invincible. I'll probably rewatch it when Season 3 is about to come out and get a better idea. But I do know that, like, as of right now, the previous Episode 7 was still probably my all-time favorite.
Oh,
that,
dude,
that was a banger.
7 is sick. I'm going to rewatch that for sure. I mean,
yeah.
It was a great episode.
And I will say, I mean, this finale, as finales go, it left me wanting more. Like, it didn't, like, kill my interest or anything. Like, I definitely want to see more. There's still a ton that I'm interested in, so I'm excited for Season 3. I'm hoping the animators aren't overworked, but we can get it. Yeah, so we're looking forward to it, but do you have any closing words as this is the finale?
Not really. I really have nothing. I mean, I'm like you said, it's like I want to see what happens next still. I'm still on the edge of my seat, which is brutal because we got to wait a year, but...
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining along this ride. Did we cover, I guess, all 4 episodes? The last 4?
I think so.
Yeah. So, welcome to the channel. I'm sure you'll see Eli in the future on other things.
Oh, I mean, for Season 3 especially.
Yeah, especially Season 3. But thank y'all for watching as well. And we'll see y'all on the next one.
Boom shot out.